33 Immortals was recently released on Xbox Gamepass in early access, but it is one of the most half-baked early access releases I have experienced in years. It feels more like a demo rather than early access due to how little content there is in it. And the reason I'm so pissed is because this game has incredible potential, but it is gonna die by its own stupid early access release because they didn't wait until it was closer to being finished. I personally love roguelikes, and I think that 33 Immortals as a co-op roguelike could be special, but it just needs so much work. When I played my first few hours of the game, I was absolutely encapsulated. It's a co-op roguelike that has great skill-based combat, a beautiful art style, and the beginnings of a fun gameplay loop. But after you get even 3 hours into the game, you can feel the lack of depth to it. You have access to 4 weapons that have 6 upgrades each, which sounds like you have some variability, but not when you realize that all the upgrades are time-gated, meaning that in order to unlock them, you have to sink brain-dead hours into the game doing the same thing over and over again. On top of that, there are only 4 mechanics in the game: light attack, heavy attack, a special skill, and dodge, and it's the same for every weapon. I was anticipating the wizard staff to have a few different choices of spells and things I could put on it like ice or fire or lightning to change my primary attack, but I can't do that. I was anticipating the sword to not feel like I was hitting someone with a pillow, but the My Pillow guy called and apparently wanted to get into making swords. There are also only a handful of useful perks for you to equip that make a difference, and they are simply stat boosts. And as I said, all of those weapon upgrades and perks are time-gated behind doing these silly little quests. It felt wrong that I had to push myself to check and do exactly what these quests wanted in order to unlock what I felt like were basic pieces of content. I am stuck on this revive 3 players quest because no one dies in Inferno and everyone else is probably stuck on this quest too, so everyone sprints to revive people. Here's a pro tip. If it feels like I am already grinding to unlock what I want in the first 5 hours of a game, you done something wrong. And the difficulty jump from Inferno, the first difficulty level, to Purgatorio, the second difficulty level, is insane. The first one doesn't feel like a challenge, and then the second one is like everything got turned up by 1,000%. And so you have to go from Purgatorio back to Daycare Inferno to simply grind up their progression system, which doesn't require more skill, it just requires you to be a brain-dead bot and put more hours in. It feels like a mobile game in that sense, and our time is more valuable than that. And the boss fights are just rapid clicking and dodging with very little skill required. I beat the Inferno boss on my first run and have beaten it in every run. The game has some cool elite enemies with unique attack patterns, but the Inferno boss fight feels severely unpolished. And part of the difficulty problem is that 33 Immortals is a 33-player co-op roguelike, which means that you can get carried by people who have a lot more hours than you. My contributions felt meaningless when I was struggling to do any damage to an enemy and then someone would sprint past me and shred them. I felt like I had no impact. But I can't fully blame them for this because it's the same problem community events in Diablo 4 have. And I am so pissed because despite all these things being able to be fixed, the real curse for 33 Immortals will be that it is a co-op roguelike that requires 33 players to play. And that player count is going to plummet in the coming weeks, and people will forget about the game and not want to come back because they remember it being half-baked. An issue I have, and I know that other people have, is that if I try a game and realize it's far from complete, I rarely ever come back to it. Developers, you destroy your potential player base by giving the players something that is raw when they asked for medium rare. It's going to get sent back to the kitchen, and they're never gonna order it again. No Man's Sky is a great example for me. I played it about 4 years ago during 2021, and it was much better than at launch, but also not even close to being in the state that it is today. I want to feel a desire to play No Man's Sky in its new state, but I just remember how incomplete it felt when I played it and how many hours I had to grind in it back then. And the most unfortunate thing is that if I played it today for the first time, I would probably love it. But since I played it in early access and it was incomplete, they've lost me as a player forever. And I fear that 33 Immortals, which feels unique and new and brings a cool twist to the roguelike genre, will suffer a similar fate rate for many players. Early access can be super useful to small studios and games like it was for Valheim, but other times it can show just how far you are from being a finished product and kill any size game like Anthem. I love the idea of 33 Immortals, but I don't love 33 Immortals in its current state. I hope it makes it, but I fear it could be another Anthem-esque flop and dead within a year or two. That's it for me. I just need to rant because I hate to see a game with so much potential ruin its future by doing an early access release too soon. Until next time, take it easy and game on.